Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Michaela Taylor. So the past few videos have been more of my medical and health videos types. Anyway, so I thought I'd make a fun video. So this video I'm going to be doing like my favorite movies and like reviews on them, because I know I'm not sure about y'all, but I know for me at least I'm always looking for new things to watch. So figured I'd give some suggestions on really good movies and some TV shows. Anyway, let's get started.
I will fight for you. I always do until my heart is black and blue. And I will stay with you.
Okay, so I thought I'd start off with two of my all-time favorite movies. And by the way, all these movies I have are on DVD, because when I really like a movie, I get it on DVD. Anyway, so my first one, my all-time favorite movie is 5 Feet Apart. This came out like, when did it come out? I think like a year ago. And it was I saw it, 2019, yeah, a year ago. So I saw it, and it came out in March. I saw it when it premiered, like its first night of showing with my friends, and it was so good. And so I was like, I have to get this on DVD when it comes out, and I've watched it like 1,000 times. I love this movie. It's about a girl and a guy, and they both have cystic fibrosis, and it's kind of like they love each other. And it has Cole Sprouse in it, by the way, guys, for all my Zack and Cody fans out there. Anyway, so they fall in love, and they can't be together because of their cystic fibrosis, because anyone that knows about this disease knows that two people that have the cystic fibrosis cannot get within 6 feet of each other. They really shouldn't even be in the same room as each other, because it's very dangerous, because, yeah. Anyway, so you'll learn more about that in the movie. And I just think it's a really good eye-opener on how people with that disease live and how fortunate you are. Yeah. So anyway, so the next movie is Miracles from Heaven. I love this movie. And if you haven't figured out by now, I'm kind of a tearjerk kind of movie. Like, I love tearjerkers. Anyway, so this movie is about this little girl, and she has this really weird stomach disease. And I'm not gonna read, like, they have like the descriptions on the movies, but I don't think that really, I'm just gonna describe it how I think it. Anyway, so this girl has this weird disease that she gets diagnosed with, and I forget what it's called, but it's like, it doesn't say, it just says a rare incurable disease. But basically, it's like the two parts of the stomach are not talking to each other, and I forget what that's called. If I can find the name, I will put it in the video. So anyway, so she has this disease, and so like the two parts of her stomach are not talking to each other, so she's basically going to die from this disease because it's incurable, as it says on there, and very deadly. And so I think it's called gastromotility disorder or something. Anyway, so then she's a very spiritual little kid, and she falls down this giant tree that she has outside of her house, and I don't want to give it away, so I'm not going to say like what she was doing or whatever. Anyway, so she falls down this giant tree trunk, and it's basically about how she's magically cured from this disease. And so yeah, it's a very good movie, and I completely recommend it. So the next movie, and this is such a cliche, some of these movies are very cliche because I got them when I was like obsessed with them in middle school, but anyway, so the next movie is Teen Beach Movie. I really can't say I like this movie as much as I did when I first saw it, but when it first came out, and that was like, I was in middle school, that was so like 3 or 4 years ago. Anyway, when it first came out, I watched it with my best friend because I was visiting her, and we both became obsessed with the movie, and we learned like all the dances and all the songs, and it was just such a good movie. So I definitely recommend this. It's about two people, and they're in love, and they get transported back to this movie called West Side Story, and it's about them being in the movie and trying to get out of the movie, basically. But it's really good. Anyway, not as good as the first two, of course, but I'd give it like a 4 out of 5 stars. So the next movie is Beauty and the Beast. I love this movie. I mean, of course I love the original, because who doesn't love a Disney classic? But this movie is for sure really good. And I completely recommend it. And anyone, I don't even think I need to explain this one, because pretty much everybody knows the story of Beauty and the Beast. It's just, everything's so realistic, and I don't know, it's just really good. I would completely recommend it. Yeah, so the next movie is Soul Surfer. This is about Bethany Hamilton and how she gets her arm bit off by a shark, but still manages to persevere and still becomes a professional surfer, which I completely admire her for that, because, you know, it's a true story, so it obviously happened, and everybody pretty much knows about Bethany Hamilton. But, and by the way, now she fights for sharks, even though one took her arm. She, so you know how, I mean, I don't remember the exact article I read on it, but basically I'm not sure if it was Thailand or China or something, but somewhere they were taking sharks and cutting off their fins and making soup out of it, and she was like fighting for the sharks to like make it illegal, which I'm pretty sure it is now. So yeah, she's an inspiration, and this is a really good movie. And I'm not a surfer or anything, like I don't surf, I don't like the ocean, but I completely recommend this movie. It's really good. So the next movie on the list is A Dog's Purpose, and this is such a good movie. Oh my god, this is a tearjerker for sure, but it's such a good movie. It's about this dog who gets reincarnated, and then at the end he finds his original owner, who he was in love with, of course, and it's basically about his journey as a dog, and it's such a good movie. And they've made a sequel to this. I think it's called A Dog's Journey or something, but it's such a good movie. Both of them are. But yeah, so I'm actually gonna order the other one, but this is a really good movie, and I completely recommend this. Oh, I completely recommend this. It's so good. Okay, my next movie is Everything, Everything. And this is another one of those tearjerker movies. It's about a girl, and she has, well, I don't want to give away the ending, but basically it's about this girl, and she has SCIDs, which means she can't leave the house because she could literally die if she did. Like, she can get sick from everything, and she's allergic to everything. It's a terrible disease. But anyway, so it's about her and this boy next door who she falls in love with, basically. The next movies, it's like a set, so I'm saying movies, are Halloween Town. I've started watching this when I was a little kid, and I've loved it, and I watch it every Halloween, like it's like a tradition, and I love these movies. It's basically about a teen witch and like a family of warlocks and witches, and they're good warlocks and witches though, and it's really good. If anyone hasn't seen it, definitely recommended, like all of these movies I'm mentioning. And so the next one is, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard of this because a lot of people have. It's called Mamma Mia, and it's about this girl who she lives in Greece, and it's like a musical basically, but it's really good. And it's about this girl who's getting married, and she's never met her father, so she wants her father to be there, so she goes and she searches him up, and so yeah. Okay, anyway, my next movie is Twilight, and this comes in a series. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 movies, and they are so good. I started watching them when I was in like 8th grade maybe, and it's a really good movie. It's about 2 vampires who are madly in love, basically, and it's completely recommended. It's for anybody, basically. Like, it's not even a romantic movie fully. Like, I mean, yes, it's a lot of romance, of course, but it also has some fighting in one of the movies between like werewolves and vampires, and then one between the vampire council and the good vampires and the werewolves. It's just a really good series. And so the next one, The Hollers. This is such a good movie. It's about this, so anyone who watches The Office It's Jim. But anyway, so it's about this guy, and he has to return home because his mom's like really sick, and so it's kind of like a heartfelt movie, but it's also funny. It's really funny. So he returns to his hometown. It's about like his whole experience and like everything, and yeah. And the mom is for anyone who loves Hannah Montana, it's from the mother from Hannah Montana the movie, or the grandmother from Hannah Montana the movie. So yeah, completely recommended. Anyway, I know I said that a lot, but the next one is Still Alice. This is such a tearjerker. Oh my god. First time I watched this was with my parents. It's such a good movie, but it's such a tearjerker. It's about this woman, and she's extremely smart. Like, she's a college professor. She plays like Words with Friends with her daughters, and she's just really smart. Anyway, so it's about this mom, and she gets diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and it's just about like her whole experience with it. And I also read the book called Still Alice, and I think the book was much better because it really makes you feel like you're the person. Like, it really gives you an inside look of what it's like to live with that. And I don't know, I just think it's really good. But anyway, the next one is Suicide Squad. I'm not a big action movie person, but this is such a good action movie. Suicide Squad, mostly because of Harley Quinn and the Joker. They are so good, but it's just a really good movie. I've seen it a million times, and I love this movie. It's about like if you haven't heard of it, I'm sure you have, because it came out in like came out in like 2016. Anyway, so it's about this team of bad guys that the government is having a problem because this person called the Witch, and she's like an evil person. She's like a monster kind of that. Anyway, so I think she's called the Witch. I'm pretty sure she's called the Witch. Anyway, so the government makes all these bad guys that are in prison join up to be a gang, and they get all these deals, like they'll get out of jail and everything, which of course, you know, the government's lying. Shocker. So anyway, so they team up and they fight off this bad thing, and it's, yeah, Harley Quinn's great. I love Harley Quinn, so yeah, that's a good movie. The next one is The Greatest Showman. This is such a good movie. I also like musicals a lot, so that's why I like movies like this, and Teen Beach Movie and stuff. But anyway, so it's about basically like, the description says Hugh Jackman leads an all-star cast in his bold and original musical filled with infections, show-stopping performances that will bring you to your feet time and time again. Inspired by the story of P.T. Barnum Jackman and celebrating the birth of show business. It's really good. It's about the circus basically, but it's super good. Definitely recommend. I mostly like it for the songs and not the storyline, but it's good either way. So the next movies, if you don't like this, like, it's just so good. But the Hunger Games series is so good. I'm sure you've heard of it, but it's about this girl, and so this is in the future, I'm pretty sure. And in the future, they do like Hunger Games, they call it. And it's basically a battle to the death. And it's like another action movie too, but it has some romance in it. Anyway, so it's about this girl, Katniss Everdeen, and her sister gets picked for the yearly Hunger Games, and she volunteers as tribute and takes her place because she doesn't want her sister to die, basically. And so she goes in her place, and she wins too, and she's the first one from her district to win, and her friend Peter Malark, he also gets chosen, and so only one person from the district can live, but she refuses to let that happen. So they were both going to kill each other basically at the end of the games, and then they said, no, you can both live, because they couldn't not have a victor. Like, that wouldn't go down well. So both of them lived, and then the next movie they get drafted again and again and again, and they basically keep having to go in the Hunger Games, so it's terrible luck. Well, not really luck, because the government makes them. It's stupid. But they win time and time again, so it's a really good movie. Sorry, my throat's getting really dry. Okay, so the next movie is, well, I'm trying to get it. Descendants. And you know, this is just a good movie, you know, and don't like, I know, too old to be watching Descendants, but I don't care. It's good. It's about, you know, the villain's kids, and they live on this Isle of the Lost, and then they get chosen to go to Oradon Prep, which is in, you know, the place where they're not supposed to be going because, sorry, they're villain's kids, and they're supposed to be banished to this land, but they go to this new land, and they, basically it's about them turning into good people instead of villains and following in their parents' footsteps. So yeah. Anyway, the next movie is, this is kind of like a 3-part movie, and it's a really long movie, but it's really good. It's called The 10th Kingdom. I've liked this ever since I was little, and it's kind of like, it's like fairy tales basically. I mean, I'll read the description because it's probably better than my description. At the edge of the mortal world lies a mystical vortex which leads to the 9 kingdoms, a fantastic land where fairy tales are reinvented and not with happily ever after results. An evil queen, Diane West, has just doomed Prince Wendell to a life as a dog. His quest to recapture the throne leads him through a portal to the mythical 10th Kingdom, Central Park. With the help of an ordinary mortals, Virginia and Tony, they battle evil in a parallel universe of vile trolls, goblins, and every fairy tale character imaginable. Stunning visual effects and stellar cast, including Scott Conan, Rutger Hauer, and Cameron Mayhem, and Ed O'Neill, dominate his epic adventure that will enchant audiences of all ages. It's super good. So, completely recommend that. And, sorry, I'm trying to reach it. I have a lot of movies, so this is going to be a really long video. This is going to be a really long video. Sorry, I have like a shelf with my movies and that's why I have to like reach over. Anyway, next movie is Goosebumps. This is a good movie. It's basically about all the storybook characters from every Goosebumps ever made being released, and about a team of people, like a kid and his friends and R.L. Stine. Well, actually, it's not R.L. Stine, obviously, but it's the dude that plays R.L. Stine, and they all have to put the characters back in the book, and it's like their adventure. It's really good. Anyway, the next movie is Into the Woods. I love this mostly because of the music, and it's because it's fairy tales. I like twisted fairy tales. Really good. Anyway, so, it's a really good movie, and it's basically about, it's just a modern twist on fairy tales, basically, and it's really good. I completely recommend it. Anyway, I'm sure you all have heard of Into the Woods, but it's really good. Next one is Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This is such a good movie. Oh my god. It's about this kid, and he's he thinks he's ordinary, but he is special. He's not ordinary. He has powers, but he doesn't realize it, and he is really close with his grandfather, and his grandfather dies, so he goes to this island where his grandfather grew up at, in this home called Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Sorry, I was looking at something. And anyway, so, he finds out that he's magical, and it's basically him stopping these evil things, and with the help of all the other peculiar children. So, yeah, I recommend this movie, too. And the next one is The Fault in Our Stars. If y'all haven't heard of this, then go check it out. It's such a good movie. It's about these two people who are in love, and they both have cancer, different types of cancer, of course, but nonetheless. And it's about their love story, basically, so I recommend this. And the book's really good, too. Just an FYI. Next movie is The Music Man. I saw this movie in 8th grade because we were forced to watch it, and I'm so glad we were because it's such a good movie. It's like, it's a musical, of course, but it's like this phony dude, and he goes from town to town scamming people, and anyway, so he goes to this town and he scams people into thinking he's a conductor, and he's not, and so he tricks all these people into paying for instruments and everything, and so yeah, it's really good. Completely recommend. Anyway, so it's basically about a scammer, but it's a really good movie, and it has a really good storyline, so watch it. It's an old movie too, but nonetheless good. Next movie is Midnight Sun. It's about a girl with XP, which basically means she can't go out in the sun without dying. And it's about a love story. She falls in love with this guy, so completely recommended. It's so good. But anyway, next movie, and we're almost done, because I know this is a lot. Aladdin, the new one. I mean, I love the old one too, but the new one is super good, and everybody knows the story of Aladdin, so I don't think I need to explain that one. And if you don't, then go look it up, because it's, yeah. The Wizard of Oz, that's an all-time classic, and I've loved this movie ever since I was little. It's about, I don't really think I need to explain that one either, because if you don't know about The Wizard of Oz, go look it up. Like, get from under that rock you live under, because The Wizard of Oz is an all-time classic. And then all of Medea's movies. These are just 2 of them, but I have tons over there. But anyway, all of Medea's movies are so good. They're hilarious. I've seen them all a lot. Bleh. I've seen them all a lot of times, and they are good every time I watch them. And so I only have now. I have 3. I have 3 more movies / shows I want to present, I guess you could say. Anyway, the next one is San Andreas. That is such a good movie. It's another action movie, so I guess I kind of like action movies, but just a few. I like natural disasters, and this is definitely one of those movies. And it has Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, in it. So, yeah, it's so good. It's about the San Andreas fault line triggering a multitude of 9+ earthquakes and, you know, the aftermath of that, tsunamis and everything. And it's about this guy who's The Rock saving his family. So good. So the next, Full House. I have the whole box set, but it's such a good show. Like, oh my god, if you don't like Full House is such a good show. It's a classic. I've loved that show ever since I was little. It's so good. It's just good. And lastly, but not least, my all-time favorite show is Grey's Anatomy. I only have the first 2 seasons, and I'm trying to collect the rest. But it is such a good show. Oh my god, if you don't like Grey's Anatomy, we cannot be friends. It's such a good show. It is such a good show. It's, you know, it's about this girl, Meredith, and she's a surgeon. It's about her experience working in a hospital. It's just like a doctor show, basically, but it has a lot of drama and romance, and it's like a soap opera, kind of, so it's super good, and you should go check it out. So, yeah. Anyway, that will be all for this video, and this was kind of like a review on the movies that I absolutely love, and just give some people some suggestions on movies to watch. And yeah, and I'm planning on doing a video coming up soon about books that I recommend. And you know, I kind of go off and on with reading books, but these are books that I definitely recommend, and they're just not as long as a list as this, so it's definitely not going to be as long as a video as this one was. But I have a lot of movies and shows that I like, so yeah. Anyway, subscribe and like this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!